with a police officer.
Way.
We'll start unplugging and get things wrapped up for transportation.
You pay me, and then I'll start.
Rent arrears are becoming the fastest growing debt problem in the UK, with the number of tenants forcibly evicted from their homes reaching a record high.
The eviction situation is turning into an avalanche of evictions. The teams that I supervise do 25 a week.
I think it's just going to get worse. It's just going to be an ongoing problem and get bigger.
Paul Bowhill, Steve Pinner and Ben Pinner are High Court enforcement agents. In this eviction special, we'll follow them as they carry out 4 very different repossessions. It's 8:30 a.m. and today they're in Guildford, Surrey, with a High Court writ to evict a tenant who hasn't paid his rent for 18 months. The landlord wants the tenant out and has warned the agents that he could be violent. The police are on hand, just in case.
Whoever's in the flat obviously doesn't want to move out. There has been some suggestion he might disapprove of our coming today, so we're going to wait and see.
But this is an eviction with a twist. The landlord is the tenant's mother.
Well, the windows are screwed shut.
Take it just...
It's always wise, knock on the door and step to the side. If there's somebody in there with a shotgun, it'll come straight through the door.
When it's family involved, it's never easy. You would never want to think that you're going to have to take enforcement action against a close family member. It's probably not a very easy decision you have to make, and to be honest, it's not a situation that I'd like to be put in.
If he's not here, we'll repossess the place and then we'll see if we can find a contact telephone number for him.
Their writ allows the agents to enter the premises by force if necessary.
Hello?
Yeah.
Hello?
There's an alarm.
That's all right, he'll hear it, won't he? Hello? No, nobody. I would say he's gone to work.
Yeah.
Don't mind if I
Is that an alarm clock or an actual alarm?
It's an alarm clock.
The court papers are on the table. There might be an open phone bill somewhere. Hi, my name's Steve Pinner. I'm High Court enforcement. Just to let you know that we have a writ to repossess the property today.
Today? I've put it on the 25th.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, that's to do with the county court. The matter has been raised to the High Court, so we're now standing in your front room.
You're kidding me?
Why would I do that?
I've got to get my stuff out, mate.
OK, well, pop home and we'll have a chat.
I'm in London. It'll take me an hour to get home.
We'll hang on for you. But don't be too long.
Thank you. All right, I'll be as quick as I can.
Good lad.
The tenant sounds cooperative. The police decide to withdraw.
Lovely, thank you very much.
All the best.
His mother had bought the flat specifically for him because he'd had a difficult upbringing and only wanted £100 a week rent from him. Eventually he stopped paying the rent, but his mother was still paying the mortgage.
The tenant's mother is too upset to risk meeting her son. Her parents have arrived instead to collect new keys to the property.
There's obviously a background to this.
It's all come to a head. He hasn't paid rent for 18 months now. You know, she just cannot afford paying out on her own. She's a widow. She's paid insurance for him and all sorts. We just pay out all the time. And he's just taken advantage of her, really.
Unbelievable.
She's had a hard life. She brought the 3 children up, but he's been troubled since he was a teenager.
She's crying down the phone, literally because of it, and she just didn't want to do it, but she had to.
He's very upset as well. We all are. But it just got to end.
Steve and Paul are worried that the tenant may react badly to seeing so many people. So they decide to leave Steve on his own.
He's going to guard the stuff. I'll look after the house.
I'll see you in a minute.
Bye.
A potentially difficult tenant is now on his way. Steve waits, alone.
This looks like it could be him.
Steve lets Paul and Ben know that the tenant has arrived.
Morning.
Good morning.
Right.
Okay.
Could you be a bit
I'll tell you what.
discreet with me?
Okay. Just let's get our bit sorted first. You've seen the county court warrant. It's on your table.
Yeah.
It went through the county.
Yeah, but why High Court's getting involved?
Well,
this is my mum. This is my mum's property. Yeah, my mum's done this to me. My own mother.
Well, unfortunately, we don't know any of the background. We get your name, her name, and our piece of paper. So I understand your position that you're not.
She shouldn't even have my dad's name. She hates me. She hates me because I remind her of him.
It's unfortunate. It's a family dispute. You know, you can fall out with your friends, so you know you can fall out with your family just as easy.
I was a recovering drug addict, yeah? My mum and me didn't get on because of that. Then she started filing for eviction. I said, fair enough, go ahead, because it will help me get in a place in the council, yeah? And then I said, I don't want that now. I want to start paying rent again. And she said, I don't want your money, I just want you out of the flat. She's chucking me out on the streets, do you know what I mean? I'm not going on the streets, I've got somewhere to go, but it's as good as. She said, go and sleep in your van. It's nice, isn't it? It's nice, isn't it? My own mum saying, you can go and sleep in your van, wouldn't you?
The tenant's mother told the team her son never offered to pay the rent owing, and that evicting him was her only choice. She denies she ever told him to live in a van.
Obviously, we don't know what we're liable to turn up to when we knock on someone's door.
No, of course.
Yeah. When the tenant turns up, we're normally in their property. First 5 minutes they come up, usually shouting and roaring, what are you doing in my house? You can't do this, do that. We try and explain to them in a quiet voice to enable us to get some dialogue between us. 9 times out of 10, after 5 minutes, we're talking quite civilly.
I haven't touched drugs for over a year. Over a year. I've got a good girlfriend, good life, you know what I mean?
But his rent arrears are only part of a much greater problem.
I'm in a lot of debt, to be honest, because of like my teenage years. Because they throw money at you. Do you know what I mean? You turn 18, any 18-year-old kid, they go, there's a credit card, loans, do what you like. I was just too immature to sort of handle it. What do you expect? I didn't have a dad around, do you know what I mean? Did what I liked. Did what I, do you know what I mean? Just had a laugh. My mum didn't like it. Before you know it, you're in 20 grand's worth of debt, like me.
He says that he's trying to pay back some of the money through an IVA. an individual voluntary arrangement.
When you've finished your packing, I have been involved in insolvency and IVAs for years. I can probably give you the short version of the way forward. Yeah.
It's 2 hours since the agents first arrived.
Screen side down? Up, I mean. Not down.
And the tenant's van is now full.
Okay. Gently. Because the gentleman's getting as much as he can together. He's only got a very small van. Unfortunately, there's an arrangement's got to be made for someone to come back and collect the rest of his stuff.
Despite the initial warnings of potential trouble, the eviction has gone smoothly.
This is Paul's card, okay? Yep. So I'll put that with your other paperwork. That's his mobile number on there. You know, if push comes to shove and you need to talk to us. Yeah.
When the claimant and the defendant are both family members, it makes our job a little bit more complicated. You'd like to think that families could resolve their situations out of court, but that doesn't happen.
Right, you ready to go?
Yeah, I'm on.
Before you commit to any insolvency situations, get all this out of the way, get your head clear and ring me. I'll always call you back so you don't have to worry about paying for the call. I'll talk you through it. I've got 30 years experience in dealing with that. All right. And if you want to get rid of your dog, ring me, because I'll have him. I'll have him. Take care.
Increasing housing costs are pushing more and more families into debt. Nearly 8,500 families with children were made homeless in England during the first quarter of 2014.
It's early afternoon, and Paul and Steve are on their way to Thornton Heath, South London, to carry out a complicated eviction.
This is another one of those with the rooms, isn't it?
Vertical.
Yeah.
3 up and 2 down.
A number of separate families live in the property, but the landlord wants to refurbish. He's been through the county court and given them notice to end their tenancies.
Oh!
Were you expecting us?
Some residents have already moved out, but 2 sets of tenants remain. Now the landlord has been to the High Court to have them evicted today.
The High Court enforcement agents, we have an eviction order for 3 rooms here, but yours is one of them.
Yeah.
So our procedure is that we allow you an hour to get your things together so that you have to move out. If you need to come back to get the rest of your stuff, you'll have to make an arrangement with the landlord. You have to leave today.
We spoke with the solicitor, which they said we need to give in 2 months.
Well, this is dated the 29th of September, and this is a High Court writ of possession. So whoever told you that either didn't know the truth or they were lying to you. Is there anybody else likely to be in here?
This one?
I got it from the address.
I think we need to ring him, yeah.
Paul and Steve are anxious to find out if anyone else will be affected by the eviction today.
Do you have a partner there as well?
Yeah, it's my wife.
All right.
We have a letter for you as well.
Yeah.
Have you got children?
I got 2.
9 times out of 10, if it's a multi-occupancy house, there's always children involved. There was 2 little ones, and the lady was pregnant, expecting another. And it's so difficult because you still got to do your job.
You'd probably qualify for emergency housing from the council.
No, because we've got a problem with the immigration.
Is there a query over your immigration status?
Yeah, because I didn't do the English test, so I'm not allowed to work at the moment.
With 2 young children, Paul is concerned that this family may be at risk of being out on the streets with nowhere to go. They need to go to the council for help.
You need to get your stuff together within an hour. Have you got a car?
No.
How far away is the council office?
We need to get our stuff within an hour.
Only the emergency stuff to tide you over for a few days.
But we have a son.
We have a son coming from school, and then he's handicapped.
Where are we going to
he's going to special school.
They have to bring him back here.
Yes.
I don't know where we're going to go.
Well, can one of you go down the council and the other one wait here for him to come back? What time do your children get back? 3 o'clock? 4?
They're booking for 4:30.
It's now 2 o'clock. Paul knows that if they both wait in for their son, they won't make it to the council's housing office before it closes.
We need to start packing. One of you needs to go down to the council office. That's probably you, wouldn't it? You haven't got a social worker or anything?
No.
The landlord's agent turns up to check on the eviction.
I came here 2 months ago. I told you the situation. How long have you known you've been evicted? Almost 4 months now, you know. You have 2 options, yeah? Either you go move out voluntarily, or they have to kick you out.
No, I spoke with them because I got a handicapped boy as well.
I understand and I sympathize with your situation, but you've known for long enough. I just want to make one thing crystal clear to you guys, yeah? So it's all clear. This guy has known from the last 4 months.
No, it's okay. It's of no consequence.
He's not eligible for any government support or anything.
They will have to rehouse him because...
Stop them what?
Pardon?
Sort them what?
Okay.
What are you saying about
They're not eligible for any support.
Okay.
So
They will have to house the children.
Fine. Okay. See ya.
What country are you from, mate?
Nigeria.
Nigeria? Yeah. What brought you over here then?
Sorry?
What were the circumstances that brought you over here?
To study.
To study. Another hole in the system. He's come here on a student visa, been here for 5 years. He's finished his courses, his visa's run out, and he's now appealing to stay. During the period of the appeal, he's not entitled to any financial support from the government. He's left now in the situation, he's got 2 young children, so the council have got an obligation to house the children and to pay for the children's roof over their head, but not for the mother or the father. But he doesn't seem to want to get his arse into gear and get down to the council office. He's just taken as read that the council will do nothing for him. He's known about this for months, but he's still here. So the landlord's come to the end of the road. He wants to do a refurb on the house. It's sad, really, isn't it?
Paul tries contacting a charity for homeless people to see if they can help the family.
The council, housing association and private sector tenants who are facing or threatened with eviction.
The second remaining tenant arrives to clear out his room.
The situation is
2 months' notice.
the officer there is a High Court agent.
However, if you have a fixed
and we have a repossession order
not yet
for your room.
However, your landlord cannot evict you personally. Only the court bailiff can do this.
Very cramped for a family. But they've got 2 little ones in room 3. 2 little ones. So yeah, it's not an ideal situation.
Press star to return to the information menu. Press 0.
It's now 3:30. Paul's had no luck trying to find the family help from a homeless charity.
Sat listening to him for 10 minutes and he just went back to the menu. Well, he's okay. Look, he's got a BMW.
Yes, he's fine.
The tenant with the BMW has somewhere else to go.
Paydays today. I even called a new landlord today so I can move my stuff tonight. So
where are you from originally?
Congo. But I was born in France.
All right.
I'm French.
So you're actually entitled to be here and all the things that go with it?
I work. I'm a manager for a company.
All right.
the family are not so fortunate. They have no home and nowhere to stay tonight.
Yeah, that's kind of sad for them because it seems like right now they don't have nowhere to go because it seems like I can see the bailiff just changed all the locker, but they're still stuck in there. Yeah, hopefully.
The family now have just 1 hour left to go to the council's housing office before it closes. If they don't, they will be homeless tonight.
You need to be at the council. That's the important thing now. Unless you've got somewhere to stay tonight.
Yeah, I got what you're saying. You said you gave me the number of those.
I've tried. It's a waste of time. It's just a telephone answering service.
Because you said you give us 3 hours. I'm just pleading, you know, because of my son is coming as well.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we've got to be out by 5 o'clock. I've said, have you been in touch with the council? He said his wife's rung the council, but they don't want to know. But we know from previous experience, if they turn up on the doorstep with the paperwork, they'll have to do something for the kids. He doesn't know where he's going to stay tonight, but they've had 2.5 hours now to actually get their head around the problem, and they haven't, so there's only so much we can do. We've done everything we can. I was a bit disappointed with the response from the charity, but they must be overwhelmed as well.
It's now gone 4 o'clock. The family's son has returned from school. They are running out of time to get to the council before the housing office closes.
Can we still come back to pack our things later?
Not today you can't, because I've got to go somewhere else. If you ring me
because we still have some...
No, I do understand.
Stuff, the toys, everything
I
is still upstairs. We've called the cab, actually.
Okay. All right. There's a taxi on its way for them. So they've obviously got somewhere to go.
Yeah, let's go.
I said, how have you been living there? What have you had as a means of support? And she said her church has supported her, but they didn't want to call them now, like in the emergency situation, because she felt it would be taking advantage of them.
Do you know where you're going to go tonight?
No, we just go to stay somewhere.
You don't know where?
Yeah.
With a friend or family?
Maybe family. We couldn't get to the phone.
To your family?
Yeah, we couldn't get to there.
So where'd you go now?
We just go because they asked us to leave this place, so we can't stay there. Yeah.
So where is he going?
He's taking us to the hospital.
Hospital?
Yeah.
For your son, or why the hospital?
No, just because at least we can stay there in the reception area till sometime.
You're going to wait in the waiting area at hospital until you get through to your friends?
Yeah. Thank you.
Well, the hospital are not going to throw them out, are they? No way of living though, is it? I would have taken them down to the council offices, but they've chosen not to. So we just fall into the category, if people can't help themselves, have we got the right to intervene? You know, we need a social worker on the team, really, don't we? To make our systems work. But we can't do that.
Finding somewhere affordable to live is getting harder and harder, according to new figures. Rents are rising faster than incomes, with an 8.2% hike across the UK in the last year.
Paul and Steve are on their way to evict a tenant in Coulsdon, Surrey. His lease has expired and the landlord has gone to the High Court to get him out. The problem is, this isn't the first time Paul and Steve have been here. Last time, the tenant refused to budge.
My agreement's for a year, so if we want to go to court, which I'd love to go to court...
You can go from here down to your solicitor and deal with all that, but you're going to be doing it from the other side of the door.
And worse still, there was a clerical error on the paperwork, which prevented the agents from repossessing the flat.
OK, withdraw. Withdraw, Steve.
Today, Paul and Steve are back, but they suspect that visit number 2 will be even more difficult, because they've been told the tenant has a history of mental illness and may be vulnerable.
If we turn up to an eviction and the tenant is showing immediate signs of distress, we will try to talk to them to assess the extent of their vulnerability. The man did show signs of stress, and we did make a judgment that he was genuinely a vulnerable person, that if he was pushed, he could become very violent. We tried to organise the police to be there, but they were delayed. We're now on our way regardless, so if war breaks out, they said they'll come.
The tenant has reached the end of his 6 months tenancy.
This one here.
But claims he has a 12-month agreement.
It's not the landlord, is it? There's a black guy in the doorway here.
Paul and Steve's writ entitles them to evict the tenant today, change the locks and hand the property back to its owner.
Phones?
Answer.
The agents have also asked family and friends for assistance.
Right, it's not you we're looking for.
One family friend, a church minister, is already there. He's trying to negotiate a peaceful exit, but the tenant is refusing him entry.
I'm a minister of religion. I'm trying to help this man. There's no point in talking when I'm talking to somebody, all right? And I need it for this guy. We've tried, but nobody will listen to us. And you know, I'm just here thinking, is this government going to wake up when he does something crazy?
Unfortunately, it is going to happen today. And we need to do it as peacefully and as calmly and as... it's going to be difficult, I know. OK, give us a few minutes.
Steve calls for police backup.
Yes, I wonder if you can. I placed a call this morning. Well, we've arrived at the property. The gentleman we come in to see is very agitated. He has a religious minister with him who is a family friend, and he tells us that he is very dangerous today. He's possibly psychotic, this guy, and I don't want to be at the wrong end of it. First school's of thought when you go to a job and you feel through experience that there is a possibility that the tenant could be vulnerable, medication or whatever. So first thing is safety for yourselves and for them. You just don't know what can happen.
While they wait for the police, the church minister has been trying to reason with the tenant.
All I'm getting is abuse.
Yeah.
He's just slammed the door and he's carrying on. I've just called his mom. He's not in his right, man, and he needs help.
Is he on medication?
He's supposed to be under the psychiatrist, but I don't know if he's turning up for his appointment. I don't think he is, personally.
The tenant's mother now arrives.
My name's Steve.
Hi, Steve.
I called the police earlier because of your son's way he was last week. There is a very good possibility that they will take him out in handcuffs.
Otherwise, what would...
If he walks out, then that's great. I don't want to see him being dragged, kicking and scraping. No, we have to get him out today.
May I speak to you, Paul?
Yes, you can. Sorry.
No, that's okay.
The agents are hoping that the tenant's mother will be able to get through to her son.
I've got to listen for once. Listen to what you're saying.
The very real concern is just going to go off big time.
How many times have I listened to you?
I'm going to walk away from you now.
That's what you've done. That's what you have done.
We can't afford to underestimate the potential to this situation. He could assault his mother, he could hold her hostage. You know, it just could go horribly wrong.
I can't function like that.
But you're not listening. The point is that they're coming in now to take you out. We're trying to sort it out.
The minister and the tenant's mother's attempt to try and get him to leave hasn't worked. He maintains that he has a valid 12-month contract. He pursues them downstairs to continue the debate.
What is the basis for the eviction? So you're an owner, you're a bad boy tenant ownership. Ask them that question. You didn't want to ask them a simple question.
The court has given them instructions.
No, shut up. You don't know. What was the reason for the eviction?
We have a warrant from the High Court which gives us permission to repossess his property.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's all we need to know. Yeah.
So I've paid a rolling contract based on what choices you've asked me for on that property.
Well,
so
why did it go to court?
You asking the wrong person.
20 minutes later, the police finally arrive.
No, stop talking. Stop the talking. End of tenancy, yeah? So my agreement says 12 months. So how can it be the end of tenancy? Stop talking.
Okay.
The end of tenancy.
Shout, buddy.
No. Are you asking the tenant or should I shut my mouth? Is everyone going to talk for me or do you want to listen? Do you want to listen?
Well, maybe we have to listen to you at another location.
Okay, shut up.
When the police arrived, we explained the situation to him. They went up to see him, and unfortunately everybody was getting to the end of their tether. Not nastily, but they was all becoming drained by the to and fro of the conversation.
Steve and the police make one last attempt to get the tenant to leave peacefully.
And the judge has decided that they have legal right to have you out of the property and reclaim it.
Yeah, I get that. So there'll be a court hearing.
There has been a court hearing.
Okay, so, and who attended?
The magistrate.
Some support.
I'm going to give you my phone number.
Yeah, that's what I like to hear.
Right, listen. Yeah. If you stress me on the phone, I'm going. No, listen.
I don't stress you. You know I like you.
If you stress me on it, I'm going to block your number, and that'll be the end of it. Do you understand me?
Uncle Steve.
Do you understand me?
Yes. Remember they stole my phone.
I don't care. Okay? But you have to be out of here.
Take care, sir.
I will talk to you. I know that all too well. This case for me was immensely draining. I said to the lads, I says, I don't know, whatever happens next, I need to go and have a cup of tea because I'm just absolutely shattered. I'm not medically trained. I can talk to people. But obviously my knowledge of what condition he had is next to nothing. So I can only talk him as a one-on-one adult and try and get the bits across to him. And it was really, really draining.
It's just before 11 a.m. in Brixton, South London. High Court enforcement agents Paul Bowhill and Steve Pinner have a High Court writ to evict a man from a flat which is being divided up into a number of separate rented rooms.
Apparently he's been there for years. And by all accounts he won't be happy, so we're just sticking around to make sure that everything goes okay.
It smells.
That's the smell. There's a pile of socks down there.
All the other tenants have agreed to move out. Building work has started. The tenant's bathroom has already gone.
This was it, because the shower unit's on the wall there. Look in the corner. Shower unit, slide round. Toilet was obviously there, and just stacked pipe out the back. As far as HSE are concerned, those doors should be closed.
It's a prime example of how the other half lives, this is. The problem I see here is it's not, it doesn't comply with the regulations which apply to houses in multiple occupation. So they're having to do all this extra work now to make sure that they do. And then they can officially let it off as sort of 10 rooms and get £60 a room a week, at least.
An upstairs neighbour comes down to give his thoughts on why the tenant is fighting eviction.
He's got all sorts of claims and things, he thinks, because he's been here a year dragging things out and doing all sorts of stuff.
We're the ultimate force.
Yeah.
Well, you know that.
Yeah.
Would you like to talk to the residents?
Not particularly. Steve,
I just thought it was fair to let him know.
The neighbour has managed to get hold of the tenant who is being evicted.
Hello. My name is Paul Bowhill. I'm a High Court enforcement agent and I have a writ of possession for these premises. That's all right. This warrant has now been... The eviction is complete, so there's no going back. But if you're on your way here, that's okay. See you when you get here, thank you. Okay, bye. Bye.
Paul has agreed to wait 1 hour for the tenant to come and collect his belongings.
He said he's just been to the High Court and he's got this, that and the other.
After a year of fighting to stay in his room, Steve and Paul think the tenant may react badly when he arrives.
Okay, my colleague here is a High Court enforcement agent.
Yes.
This is a High Court writ.
Yes.
We have repossessed your property now.
Yes, I understand that. I actually filing an application, against this eviction, which was filed on the 25th. If you spare me for a second, I've gone back to court and find out exactly what's going on with my application.
Is that with the county court?
Yes, that was on the county court.
This is the High Court.
Hello.
Yes. Could I possibly just make a phone call for a second? I was going to move my things out anyway because I cannot live in this mess, honestly. But I need at least some time just so I can gather someone to come and help me to
Okay, let me just... The property has now been repossessed, okay? The locks have been changed.
All right, sir.
If you need some stuff to get you over for a couple of days, that's not a problem. And then what we can do is make an arrangement. You can come back and collect the rest of your stuff. It's not a problem.
Yes, but I just need to take some of the things that I need right now.
Yeah, that's not a problem at all.
Will you please come?
Yes, of course.
The tenant seems to have accepted that the room he's been fighting to stay in is now no longer his.
Yes, I need to unplug all this.
Yeah,
that's... Within an hour, all of this will be out, yeah? Basically,
yeah, okay.
Okay, so I'm just waiting for someone that's gonna get here. Yeah.
Unplug and pack.
Yes.
We're happy with that.
At the moment, as you can see, all my things are just being gone thrown out on the street. The only thing I can count with is friends, and then probably just move into a friend's house at some point, or until I just settle somewhere else, find somewhere else, the right property or the right place. You just can't find somewhere else to live, it's not that easy.
It was just a room, possibly 12 foot by 8 foot, and that was his whole world. Whether it's a room, a flat or a house, at the end of the day, if he had a tenancy agreement, it's still a tenancy agreement. So should he fall foul, then yeah, the courts decide that he can't be there and that's it.
You understand?
I haven't got a great deal of sympathy for landlords either. Would you like to live like this? A little rabbit hutch like that hasn't got a window to the daylight, so it's got no ventilation, no nothing.
You're getting there?
Yes.
Well done. Okay, what you need to do is you need to empty your stuff out of this room. You can put it there and wait with it. When your van comes, plonk it straight into your van.
Yes. I actually bought every single piece of furniture that's in this place, including washing machine, all the things of other rooms and stuff like that. But I've just been forced to leave, so that's what I have to do.
So
So is your car on its way?
It should be on its way soon. It's just this was very sort of like very suddenly.
Yeah, no, of course.
Yeah.
You're all done there, are you now?
Yes.
Okay, so if I turn the lights out and shut the door, that's the end of it. People come to London, supposedly golden streets. They think that this is where they're going to make it. And maybe they can't afford to live there. We do see it all the time.
See, come back.
You can't force me. You calm down.
And you can't.
I haven't got any money.
Or won't pay it back.
Get off on my property.
In this series, we meet the people who are losing their homes.
Hello, would you like to open the door?
Got 24 hours. Find somewhere else to go.
Their cars.
Can you pay this yes or not? I have to go with me now. I'm not going to take your cars off.
And their possessions.
Can't afford to pay the rent, but £700 telly.
We meet the people who are owed money.
He's got taken advantage of, big time.
And the people whose job it is to collect it.
I don't want to touch that. Don't panic.
Because when you can't pay, they'll take it away.
We'll start unplugging and get things wrapped up for transportation.
You pay me, and then I'll start.
1 in 5 people in the UK consider themselves to have serious financial issues. And according
And buy a new car, but it drives them into acquiring things which ultimately leave them in debt.
Ashford in Kent. And today, Paul is with trainee Phil Short. They're on a mission that could become explosive. They're about to visit the home of a celebrity, an ex-professional footballer with a real hard man reputation.
I mean, he has been all over the TV recently.
Yeah. He's on a cookery programme, isn't he?
Cookery programme? Oh, well.
But the defendant's now almost £3,000 in debt to his local dog kennels.
You know, it seems an odd debt, 3,000 odd quid to a little trader. It's just pure arrogance or forgetfulness.
Yeah.
We've met celebrity debtors on a number of occasions, and they either react by being offensive and talking down to us, which is a trigger for me, or they're straight away up front, explain that there's a problem, talk it round and make a payment proposal.
Armed with a High Court writ, the team need immediate payment, or they can seize possessions to cover the debt. This includes valuable items that the defendant owns with his second wife, a former glamour model.
That was that little Fiat, I reckon, the blondie one.
Could have been.
Yes. Gotcha. Squeeze out with that, Mrs.
What is this for?
If you let me get close enough, I'll explain it to you.
Yeah, I think you should. Get these. Can you go away, please?
They're on public property.
Who are you?
No,
Public property. This is my. Right, get in. I've got a little go at it. How dare you?
No, that's okay.
Get in. Get in.
Are you going to talk about this?
Is it? Who's it for?
It is, yeah.
He's not here.
No. Does this car belong to him?
That car? You're having a laugh.
Does it belong to him?
Get out of my property.
With no sign of the defendant and his wife reluctant to help, Paul turns his attention to their removable assets.
We'll just see if we can isolate who the car belongs to. Is this how they are? Hello, can you do an HPI check for me, please? It's a Fiat 500.
Slaggy wife, is it? This is what his ex-wife has paid you all to do? Idiot.
It's not to do with his ex-wife.
Well, what's it to do?
Well, if you'll give me
house.
Okay, if you'll give me time, I'll explain it to you.
Get off on my property.
Can you do a land registry?
Get off of my property.
It's all brilliant, really, isn't it? Couldn't get better.
It's just a simple fact that it's not a lot of money.
All it would take is a simple conversation to go, right, what's happening? How can this be resolved?
And she's just into throwing a hissy fit, which I suppose is what wags do, isn't it? Standard wag, really.
Look what you're doing to my little girl. Get off my property. What? Hey, what am I meant to do?
Finally, the defendant arrives.
If I can talk to you. Sorry? Can I...
Don't say the children! How have you done the children? Who have you done? The children run away. You proud?
Get off of my property! I own this property. Why are you having on to her? You look like you're about to.
It couldn't get better, really, could it? I will always tend to stand still and to allow the aggression and the attack to continue so long as it's not physical. If I raise my voice or start to argue with them...
Do you know who I am, yeah?
I immediately lose control of the situation. Do you know who I am?
This is for the... What's this for? Fine?
It's, I think it's a dog food bill.
A dog bill?
Can I just suggest that we drive down the road so you're not making a fuss with the neighbours? You notice how he calmed down? Yeah. What you've got to allow, always in these circumstances, you've got to give people the latitude to make a dignified retreat. Right, there's the writ, which I'll leave with you.
Yeah. I do own the money, but it was just there was a question about the amount. That's all it was. So.
There's no warning with us coming.
No, it's not a problem. I admit. But
how much can you pay and when can you pay it is the question.
If you can come back to me Monday, say I've come home, I'll pay £1,000 off that Monday. It's not a problem.
If that changes, can you ring me?
I won't change, that's fine.
Thank you.
Truck Walk Road. Yeah.
That's right. It's a bit fiery, isn't it?
According to figures from the Bank of England, household debt has almost doubled in the last decade, and it's estimated that around 4 million debt collection visits are made every year.
High Court enforcement agent Stuart McCracken and trainee Ian Taylor work across the north of England, and today they're in West Yorkshire.
Keithley, yes. Let's look at that. Stunning views. See, you won't get this down south.
28-year-old Stuart has been in the business for 10 years. But former construction worker Ian is new to the industry.
What's this one then, mate?
On the writ, we have £1,014.84.
Lovely.
The original debt is for unpaid equipment hire. But with court costs and the added charge for the team's visit, the defendant now owes over £2,500.
Reached your destination on your left.
The team need immediate payment, or they will seize goods to the same value.
Oh, he's got a post in front of his garage door. There's something valuable in there. Let's go and have a look. When you get a new case, you're there trying to collect as much information as possible. You're looking at the address, what assets do they have outside, what type of house is it, who is it that you're going to meet. That's the exciting thing about the job. You just don't know what you're going into.
I don't think that.
Hello? Hello.
Not in at the moment, he's at work.
Right, are you able to ring him? We're High Court enforcement.
Bear with me a second, because I'm just a friend that's staying here.
Right, OK.
Even though there's just a friend at home, the team still have the authority to enter if there's an open door.
What do you want me to say?
High Court enforcement.
You do know this isn't even his house.
Whose is it?
His girlfriend's.
Right, but he does live here.
On and off, as far as I'm aware. I don't know much.
Right, OK.
Can you just stand outside while I ring?
It's like, we'll just wait here.
Well, yeah, but this is my house, so I'm not allowed you in, so...
Right, easy.
Just shut the door while I go make a phone call.
But you can make a phone call, it's no problem, but we'll wait here. For somebody who doesn't live here, it's quite secretive. You need to get somebody to make a phone call to make them aware that we are here. That's why it's very important to get over the threshold. It gives the people that extra prompt, because nobody wants to hear that there's somebody in your property. Hello, my name is Mr. McCracken. I'm High Court enforcement. I've been told to attend your premises with regards to an outstanding balance. We're here from the High Court to seize assets to that value unless the debt is paid. I'm already in it. Well, I'm already in your house, sir, so either make the payment. OK, if you do that, then I'll just have them arrested. OK, cheers. Do me a favour, Ian, can you start doing an inventory list?
Stuart and Ian have been told the house doesn't belong to the defendant, but they can still seize household goods unless they have evidence that they belong to someone else. 10 minutes later, the defendant's girlfriend comes home from work.
Right, first things first is my house.
Yeah.
So all these belongings in here are mine.
Right, OK. How can you prove that he owns nothing?
How do you want me to prove it to?
Sale of receipts for the goods.
For everything within my house?
Yeah.
No
it's
chance.
It's a standard by the High Court.
You've no chance.
Right, we need to sort some sort of thing out with regards to payment then.
I don't want to say any more than about £50 a month at the minute.
It's not going to be enough.
How much do you need?
It needs to be a minimum 50% today.
A minimum of 50%, I can't.
Yeah. Either that's removal of goods. See what you can raise. Anything you can do. See what you can raise and we can take it from there. That's the best that we can do. All right. Like I said, we'll wait in the hallway here. We won't go any further.
Her possessions are at risk of being seized, so she calls her boyfriend.
Don't you dare! I don't need this. Stop it. He's on his way up.
OK, no problem.
He's not in a good mood.
No.
We'll deal with him.
Yeah, no problem at all. Don't worry about it.
Retaliate.
No, don't worry.
The defendant has already threatened violence. And Stuart and Ian have no idea what might happen next. Events have also taken a troubling turn for enforcement agent Paul Bowhill. He's pursuing an ex-professional footballer who's nearly £3,000 in debt to his local dog kennels.
I'll pay £1,000 off that Monday.
If that changes, can you ring me?
I won't change this one.
But the deadline is today, and Paul hasn't heard from him.
I agreed with him he would meet me to make a payment of £1,000. He hasn't made the phone call tonight, so he's failed at the first hurdle.
Keen to figure out his next move, Paul's done his homework.
The debt is because he left his dog in the kennels for a couple of months, and when he was asked to come and collect it, he made some issue over it. Eventually collected the dog, paid with a cheque which bounced. And when the kennel owner tried to berate him about it, he just laughed in her face. So my impression of him is that he's a celebrity who's skinned.
His next step would normally be to seize assets. But he's discovered that could be tricky.
His 5 Series BMW on a 12 plate, he's on finance. His wife's 12 plate Fiat 500 is on finance. So the whole thing protects him from direct attack. Hello, this is Pulbo Hill. We met the other day. You were going to ring me tonight to make a payment. I'd rather avoid a repeat performance of the other day. So can you please ring me, preferably in the next couple of hours, and suggest how you're going to make payments in this case. Thank you very much. He breaks his promise to me. That's my goodwill gone out through the window. We don't have to win on the day because we've got the law on our side, we've got endless patience, and if we have to, we will go away and come back better prepared.
Back in Keighley, a local builder owes over £2,500. He's heard the enforcement team are in his house and has stormed home from his building site.
You can't. It's my house. Stop it.
Now, move. Get out of my house. Get out of my house. Come with a police officer. Get out of my house. Get out of my house.
Calm down. We need to get this sorted.
Sorry, I've had no letters off any county court or nothing.
Okay. I understand why you're annoyed.
I've had no letters.
I know that.
Show me all these letters I've had.
Look, we've got a High Court writ to be in the property, okay? We need to sort something out.
Somebody will get hurt today, I swear to God. I've got another 2 lads from building site coming up in 2 minutes.
No, that's okay, don't worry.
Listen to me, look.
I've not think all about it. I've no letters or nothing.
You're alright, mate. Say what you did, mate. Your face was like, what was it?
If they really thought that some insults were going to make us turn, go and forget about the debt, then they couldn't be any more wrong. You've got to calm the situation down, get back to negotiating the payment.
After a few minutes, tempers cool.
Pound that you can get access to now.
Right.
In his bank account.
Right.
And then I'll make an agreement to pay £100 a month out of my account.
Right.
Pay the debt off, will that suffice?
Right, what I'll do is I'll...
Really?
No, don't worry. No, don't worry about it. Can I borrow your phone, Ian?
It's clear the defendant's girlfriend is trying her best, but it's less than Stuart wanted. So he rings the office.
He's basically moved in. He's got nothing, and he's brought a lot of debt to her door. That's what the situation is. It's clearly what it is. Nothing in the house belongs to him. Oh, mate, you're all right. You're all right.
As threatened, one of the men from the building site arrives.
Just the lad turned up, obviously, because he's pressed the distress alarm himself, you know what I mean?
Stuart now has a dilemma. The amount the defendant and his girlfriend can pay isn't enough. But if he and Ian seize goods, things could turn nasty.
It's going to be a smash and grab, if you know what I mean, on this one. If I can get something like 500 quid today, mate, is that going to be acceptable? And then come on, an arrangement plan. Yeah, so I'll see what I can do. Right. I've spoke to the office. Yeah. What they say is, if you can do 500 today, and then £200 a month, it'll be clear. If you're struggling, we can look to it from there.
If it'll take the 300.
It has to be 500 today.
I haven't got it. I swear to God, I haven't got it.
Is there anyone you can ring?
No, we're getting married and we've basically milked everybody we know.
Yeah. The key part to doing your job well is learning about different tactics that people use to try and avoid paying the debt. I mean, you do hear plenty of excuses and plenty of reasons that people try and hide behind the debt. You need to be quite a strong person, and then you can get a good result on behalf of the claimant.
He's got 300 on his, I can give you the card details.
Right.
I can transfer £200 to.
Yeah, bear with me 1 second.
Stuart's finally got the amount he wanted. But the atmosphere is still frosty.
We've got an arrangement out of it all. They can pay 500.
Obviously, his macho pride's been hurt. You know, we've got into his fiance's house. She's there dealing with it. He's felt threatened. Signing print there. In a way, I did have a bit of sympathy for him, having worked in the building trade myself. He's obviously having a bit of a hard time. Right, that's for you to keep.
It's not these guys' fault for them, though. They're just doing their job.
You know, the recession did hit me like a steam train. I went from having a really good job to no job, being unemployed on benefits.
Take it easy, see you later.
Yeah, I've got in debt to the point where I was working 12 hours a day, 7 days on a week with cracked ribs on a building site to pay it off.
See you later.
Right. Yeah, there was a bit of sympathy for him there.
Oh well, another day, another payment, Ian.
As far as I know, there's no children living here at this address. It's just this lady who I believe is a dinner lady at a local school.
She should be finished by now then, it's 2 o'clock.
The tenant hasn't paid rent for several months. But they're not here to collect the debt. They are here to evict her. There's no answer. But the writ of possession still allows the team to break in and change the locks.
This is the point where they come and open the door, isn't it?
Yeah, usually. What a locksmith.
Now past the threshold, the enforcement agents have full possession.
That's your bit.
And for the tenant who lived there, it's no longer home.
Hello? Hello?
OK, let's go find a lock.
There's the claim form, they're all aware of it.
Most repossessions are enforced by county court bailiffs and take several weeks. But to get the tenant out sooner, the landlord applied to the High Court, and the enforcement agents have come without warning. It's now time to drop the bombshell.
Hello? Who's that?
I'm a High Court enforcement officer. Are you near home?
Sorry?
Are you near home?
No.
Right, OK, because your property's being repossessed.
What do you mean?
You're being evicted today.
So what does that mean?
It means that you have nowhere to stay tonight.
You are joking me.
I'm afraid I'm not, madam.
I've got money indoors and my credit cards and everything.
Well, if you can come home now and get it, that'd be good.
I don't believe that.
She cut me off.
I'm just thinking there's always a mystery in these places. She's working, and yet she stopped paying the rent. It's just odd. The woman's shocked, devastated, all of those things. But she must have known it was coming. All the eviction papers are there.
The tenant soon arrives with her friends, and Paul presents her with the writ.
How come when I was at court, I went to court yesterday, Lambeth Court, they told me that I had to wait for a letter stating when the bailiffs are turning up.
The landlord chose to take it to the High Court, which is instant.
And they don't give you any warning?
None at all. None at all.
I can't believe this.
Right, the system is this. The house has been repossessed. If you need kit to last you 2 or 3 days, that's OK. You can then make an arrangement with us and we'll come back either this week or early next week when you've arranged somewhere to go and somewhere to store your stuff.
Get your paperwork up.
She's been told by the court, no need to worry, it's going to take us 6 weeks to get there. Wrong. And that's the bit that nobody's telling these people about. Don't be put off by people telling you wait till the bailiff comes, because standing out there in the shadows are the super bailiffs, people who can react to an eviction order within 24 hours.
Hold on. 12 years she's lived here. 12 years. She's going to go to pieces, you know that?
Until recently, The tenant has never missed a payment. Her next-door neighbour arrives, and Paul hears another perspective on her situation.
Can I just say, she's the best bloody tenant and neighbour he'll ever have in that sodding house.
For whatever reason, she stopped paying the rent.
Yeah, she stopped paying the rent basically because he was evicting her.
We don't know. Yeah.
All I can say is that's a sad loss to the neighbourhood and a travesty. Honestly, she shouldn't be treated like that. Terrible.
There's obviously a story to this. As soon as the landlord started these repossession proceedings, she stopped paying the rent. So it's just a downward spiral. There's no escape. Stop paying the rent, eviction's gone forward.
What's he got in it? It's got
a white envelope, it's got 50 quid in it. All your thing is your court pay, your court appearance.
The tenant now needs to clear the entire house within the next 14 days. Touched by her predicament, Paul shows his softer side.
We will come here and we will open the house, and it doesn't matter whether it takes you 1 hour or 9 hours. We don't work weekends, but if the weekend is the only time you can come back, I personally will come and open up for you and sort it out.
Pumps and all that, get things like that in your bag.
Don't listen, I mean, we're not harassing you now, just take your time.
Woman even filled everything in for me to wait to get to the...
I'm only giving you my personal view, but the eviction situation is turning into an avalanche of evictions, and the poorer people are being squeezed out of central London into the suburbs or beyond.
The tenant's home of 12 years is now off limits. The team's job here is done. But another of Paul's cases is far from over. An ex-footballer is in debt to his local dog kennels.
Do you know I am, yeah?
But yesterday he missed the deadline for his first payment. And he's now given Paul his reason why.
He phoned me to say that he'd phoned the kennels direct and he'd made an offer to pay them £250 a month. Bear in mind this debt is nearly £4,000.
Yeah.
And I said that wasn't acceptable. He had to make the payments through us. So we have another last word on that one.
All right.
Paul's keen to investigate that the defendant is in contact with the kennels. And a few days later, he calls the owner.
Hello, my name is Paul Bowhill. I work for High Court Solutions. I'm a High Court Enforcement Officer.
Yes.
I spoke to him on Monday again because he said he had an arrangement with you to pay.
Absolute nonsense.
Right, he has no arrangement with you.
He has no arrangement with me. I've had terrible difficulty.
I know you have.
In the first place.
Okay.
And it is on television every 5 minutes.
Yeah, I don't understand why he's making such a fuss over such a small amount of money. I just wanted to clear those points with you. Thank you for that. Take care.
Bye.
Bye. That lady there sounded absolutely genuine.
Paul's heard a different version of events. He decides to escalate the situation.
I've instructed the office to prepare a draft bankruptcy petition and we'll just go that route with it. So the debt will now be about £6,000. Once the bankruptcy petition is prepared, it adds £1,500 to the costs. We're putting a line under it, pay all of this debt and the costs, or we'll bankrupt you. OK. Onwards and upwards.
Rising personal debt is having a damaging effect on the UK's high streets. Research has found that small businesses are owed more than £55 billion in unpaid invoices.
Today, Stuart and Ian are about to visit a small shop owner who's over £3,000 in debt. The High Court writ entitles the team to collect the money, or seize goods to cover the amount owed.
It's going to be one of those shops along here, isn't it? There it is. We're working from a blank canvas. So that's the exciting bit about the job to a certain extent, that you don't really know what's going to be at each individual address. You just don't know what you're going to.
Hi mate, you alright?
Reptile lover Peter Blake has owned his pet shop for over a decade. But for the last few months, he's failed to pay his reptile food supplier. He now needs to settle his debt, or Stuart and Ian could seize his animals, which could close him down.
Discarding outstanding rep, mate. 3,136.28.
Yeah, well, I can't pay it.
Can't pay it?
No, not anyway. We sent a form into the court to doing a payment amount.
Yeah.
Paying every month.
Yeah.
And we were just waiting on that being dealt with.
That won't be dealt with now.
No, I know. Well, clearly because you're here.
Yeah. How much can you pay?
I could probably get about £400 by Monday.
It's going to be more than it needs to be today, mate, or it's removable goods.
That's what I said, you're going to have to do that.
Yeah, right, OK. Well, what we'll do is we'll give you 30 minutes, see what you can do. If not, we'll be... Well, like I said, I'll give you 30 minutes, all right? See what you can do. No, I'm not being funny either. All I'm saying is, I'm going to give you 30 minutes. You must be able to ring somebody.
I don't have
OK?
anybody.
If not, we will be removing the goods. Looks like it could go to removal. He's very defeatist. I mean, straight away he says, no point ringing, I've got no money, got no money. So I've left it with him. I'm sure he'll be making a phone call in a minute, try and raise some funds. So we'll see what happens and we'll go from there.
With the shop now closed, Ian starts an unusual inventory.
Alligator. I obviously thought that you could only have stuff like this in the zoo.
Tell you what, he's a lively one.
Don't fancy moving this stuff myself, mate.
The shop's most valuable assets are the exotic animals, but seizing them will be tricky, expensive, and potentially dangerous.
God, that's a big snake, isn't it?
I know, yeah.
So Stuart pushes hard for payment.
We need 1,000 today, mate, at least. I don't want to close your business, mate. I really don't, but...
I understand where you're coming from. I've just spoken to the only person I've got, and that's my mum, who will give me £400 cash now.
It needs to be more than that, mate.
I've literally got nothing. I don't even have food money at home.
Like I said, I'm a man of my word. I'll leave it with you. See what you can do.
Peter Blake has gone from £0 to £400 in 10 minutes. Stuart's tactics seem to be working.
The strategy that we've worked out is to give people that time to think, because everyone's first gut reaction once they've got to the High Court stage is, I've got no money, I can't pay. We are there to turn the heat up.
It's a stressy thing running a small business, and the last 5 years have taken their toll with the recession. It's dead easy to go bankrupt, but the harder thing is to try and work through it and pay everybody.
For a small business owner in dire straits, raising another £600 is a tall order. But with all eyes on him,
Can you do a payment on this card of £250?
Peter takes on the challenge.
The £250 card was rejected, so I'm just trying to arrange it from other sources.
Right.
I've got somebody else that's paying another £100.
So that's £760.
Yeah.
Peter's had some success, but after an hour and a half, he's still £240 short of the £1,000 target. He seems to have exhausted all options. It's time for Stuart to report back to the office.
He's scrapping the money around from everywhere. So there's different people ringing in making payments. £240, mate, yeah. Patience is key to this job. If you start losing your patience, you start losing sight of the goal. Getting the claimant his money back, one way or another.
It's been nearly 2 hours, but another friend comes to his aid.
He's just ringing the office now to make the payment.
Right, I know who, what, where, when and what's going to happen. It's the magical mystery job.
Over in South London, enforcement agent Paul Bowhill's dealing with his own mystery. He's been trying to meet the ex-footballer for 3 weeks, but without success.
Yeah, phone switched off.
If he doesn't pay up, there could be severe consequences.
The entire world, as he knows it, is going to come crashing down around his ears.
Enforcement agents Paul and Steve are back in South London to meet the dinner lady who was evicted from her home. Last night she stayed with a relative nearby, but she now needs to register for a council home and has asked Paul and Steve for a special favour.
She was a genuine case and she needed documents to prove to the council that she existed.
I hide things and I don't know where I hide them. I don't know why.
They're all in a safe place.
Yeah.
So we went back at no charge to recover the documents with her.
Yeah, you need proof of ID for everything.
How old are you?
53.
You look older than that.
Oh, I like you for 5 minutes.
That's longer than most.
All I'm thinking, you might come into their category for...
Pension places. No, not yet. I've looked them up already. Got to be 60. But I've got to register and at least be in the system or something, and they want proof. Where is my driving licence?
Listen, just focus.
Pills!
Medication, yes. And I don't think this is plugged in.
What? The phone? What do you mean? Well, who's unplugged it?
Well, not us.
Her quick dash back turns into an hour-long salvage operation.
Our approach to the way we do our job brings people to the fact that we are human.
She like this all the time?
No.
We do have sympathy for them. You know, under the circumstances, we're trying to make it as easy as possible for them.
When are you coming back with a van to move the stuff?
Saying it to my last knockings, 5 past an hour.
Listen,
I'll still be here,
if you come here, don't talk, just pack.
Wait.
And then it'll be just so much quicker. I've got some sellotape in the van.
You've been so nice. Yeah. You made me feel a little bit better.
There you go, thank you. And we'll drink to you this evening. We're going to a do's.
Oh, yeah, bit of a do. Nice time. Oh, yeah. Pick up your commission. Big check.
I like you. Take care.
There's people out there that's worse off than me. See you later.
We do come across all walks of life. I think I would prefer to deal with middle or lower class so-called people than the arrogant rich.
It's now a month since Paul's first visit to Ashford to recover an ex-footballer's £3,000 debt to his local dog kennels.
It's all brilliant, really, isn't it?
I'll pay £1,000 off that Monday.
But the next week, the defendant missed his deadline.
That's my goodwill gone out through the window.
And claimed he'd paid the kennels directly.
I've already paid these big money.
No, I'm not disbelieving you.
But the kennel owner denied this.
He said he had an arrangement with you to pay.
Absolutely not.
Paul's tried to contact him.
Hello, Mrs. Paul Bowhill.
But after 4 weeks, he hasn't received any payment.
Yep, phone switched off.
Paul's patience has finally run out. He's heading back to Ashford one last time.
No matter how brave a face he puts on it, being bankrupt, he's going to screw the next year of his life. Credit cards stopped, his bank accounts would be shut down, and so on and so on. We'll leave the draft bankruptcy petition, which is a real sort of eye-opener. This is what's going to happen in Canterbury Court if you don't settle this debt. Forget the offers, forget everything, pay up, or else. Simple. Job's done.